Hey everyone, it's Justin from Black Bear Creative. This video is for any creatives out there, whether you're starting out or new to logo design. This is just some quick tips on what I do when I prep the files or the logo files needed at the end of a project. Just a few little hacks there to just export multiple files in different file types. So I hope you find it useful. If you've got any other tips or got any other techniques, love to hear from them. Put them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, so once you've got your final logo, it's all refined, it's all approved by the client, it's ready to go. It's all prepared in terms of it's all in vectors. Any particular font files that are used are turned to outlines. So make sure everything is all outlined, so none of your fonts can go missing. And just make sure it's all vectorized like so. Once you've done that, you're pretty much ready to go to the next step. So first things first, let's make sure our artboard, I like to keep things over 1,000 pixels wide, purely because I much rather supply, especially for image files like JPEGs and PNGs, I much rather supply them a bigger file that can be reduced in size, as opposed to providing something small that the client might think that they can increase in size and have those pixelation issues. So I like to make them nice and big, and so the client has the option to decrease in size and avoid those issues. So this one here is 1,200 pixels wide by 444. So this particular version, this particular logo, is purely black and white. The main color, primary color for this branding is just black. Depending on obviously what your project you're working on, you'll have to work out have a full color version as well. This is pretty much the full color version, but a lot of your projects will have to have full color and the option to have CMYK versions and RGB versions as well. So you got that cover both screen and print. This is going to be real basic. We're not going to go into that. So we're just going to, like I said, this is just a purely black and white. But you need to think about what possible versions your client will need in the future. To cover the basics, we're just going to provide black and white reverse and pure white as well with a transparent background. So we've got our black version here. What we want to do is start naming our artboards. So this particular one, we're going to call this main. Oop, if I can spell correctly. Main tagline, because this just so I can differentiate the others later on. Main tagline black. Enter. So in your artboards, in the properties panel here, you're going to have artboards and artboard name. Just make sure you put that something so you can easily identify it once you export it. So that's artboard is ready. Just make sure as well, when you click on your actual logo, make sure everything is nicely centered. So if you go to align, center, and vertical align center, just to make sure everything's nice and neat. So from there, we're going to go back to edit artboards. Once this one's selected, we're going to hold Alt click and drag and shift and move it next to here. With this particular one, we need to make a white version. So we're going to click on the vectors, which are grouped. We're going to click on the appearance, make it white. And as you can see, nothing in the background. Just ensure nothing's in the background. And we're going to name this one main tagline white. So we've got 2 down. Now we're going to create a version without the tagline. So we're going to click on that particular artboard, edit, and Alt, Shift, drag down. Just going to double click on this to go into the group. Just delete this so it's nice and clean. We've got a clean version here. And we're going to go to artboard, edit artboards again. Change this one to main black. And get rid of copy. And that's done. Now we're going to do the same thing. Alt, click and drag and shift. Keep everything in line. Click on the vectors. Change it to white. I'm going to rename this again, main white. So that's 4 done. We also need to create an artboard for just the symbol itself. So what we can do is click on this one, Alt, drag, Shift. Click off, double click. I'm just going to get rid of these letters here. Artboards, just put it down to 1000 by 1000. Just make sure it doesn't overlap any other artboards because they tend to get stuck. There we go. That's done. I'm going to click Shift and align this. Make sure you're on the correct artboard. Click on the vector, horizontally align center and vertically align center. So it's nice and centered there. We're going to call this one Edit Artboard. We're going to change the name again. We're going to call this one Symbol. Symbol black. So that one's done. Edit artboard. Click and drag. Repeat the process. Change this to white. Edit artboard. So I'm going to call this one Symbol white. Just make sure go through all your artboards and make sure the name correctly, because sometimes if you click off it doesn't actually change the name. So that's done, and we're going to create like a vertical version as well, like with the tagline. So I'm just going to, same thing, Alt, click, drag, Shift. Just going to get rid of this, grab this guy here, Alt, drag, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to ungroup, click over these, group them, Command G, and move this here. I just want to center everything horizontally like that. Yep. Click over everything, Command G, group them together again, and then line everything up to this artboard. So click on the artboard. Then make sure you click on the vector elements and align horizontal, align vertical. I'm just going to make this bigger, like so. Cool. Edit artboards. We're going to name this vertical. Vertical black. Alt, Shift, drag, and we're going to change this to white. Edit, vertical, white. What we're also going to do is create a Facebook profile artboard. So our social media artboard, it covers a lot of the sizes for a lot of the social media platforms. I like to provide this because it's just a lot easier just for the client to quickly upload something to their social media profile without having to mess around and possibly getting the sizing wrong. So it just makes it easier for them, and it makes it easier for me as well. So we're going to click and drag this particular, we are going to click and drag this guy here. We're going to change the sizing, so we're going to go up to properties and change the width to 1080 pixels, tab 1080, and I'm going to call this guy Facebook. Or let's call this social media. Social media profile. Alright, so that's named. So we've got the white version here. But what I want to do, I'm just going to click and drag this off here so I know it's there. And I'm going to click, go to my rectangle tool, shift, click and drag, make it black, or the same black as this, which is just the basic black. Just make sure it's 1080 by 1080. Align this so there's no hidden any white spaces. And I'm going to click on the actual logo, right click, arrange, bring front. Just decrease the size a little bit, give a bit more negative space around it. And center everything horizontal, center everything vertical. Okay, and that's done. Like I said, depending on the project, you could have to do a few more variations, but for this exercise is plenty now. Just make sure that all your artboard names are correct. If you go to window and go to artboards, you can actually see them here or here. Saves you going to edit artboards every time. So make sure everything's named correctly and it all looks good. And before we do anything else, we're going to save this Illustrator file just in case. You never know, we don't want to lose anything. Something crashes and we don't want to be stuffed. So I'm going to make a new folder and I'm going to call this the client ABF brand identity package. That's it, create. And I'm going to create another folder called AI for the Illustrator files. And we're going to call this ABF logo. Make sure it is a Illustrator AI folder file. Save. Okay. And we are good for the next stage. Just to ensure, if you're doing color versions, make sure all your RGB values are correct. All your CMYK values are correct before proceeding. This is just basic pure black, so we're all good with this particular one. Yeah, so we are going to go to File. We're going to go to Export, Export for Screens. Okay, so you can see all the artboards here that we want to export. I'm going to, it doesn't matter, but you can turn off bleed if you don't need it. We're going to go to here and choose our destination of where the logos are going to be. So I'm going to create a folder called PDF, because we're going to do PDF files now. So they're going to be all saved here. I'm going to click on the files I want to export. I don't want to export the white ones because clients can get confused of why you're providing just a white file. They won't be able to see that it's transparent. So we're just going to do the black and the social media one just in case. So all these ones are selected. We're going to go to, so the suffix is the name after the logo file, or of pretty much the artboard name. So if you had V1, you'd have main tagline black underscore V1. We're not going to have any, don't need that for now, so we're just going to delete that. And also as well, just check in advanced settings, this little guy here, check PDF. And you can actually use presets, predefined presets. I'll use the Black Bear optimized one because it's optimized for vectors. And I'm going to click Save Settings. So it's going to use that preset that I've previously made. Just optimizes it, that's all. Prefix is the name in front of the artboard name. So we're just going to call it the client name, ABF logo underscore. Like so, and we're in the right, we saved it in the right folder. Everything looks good. We're going to click Export Artboard. And as you can see, in that folder, we've got our PDFs, exactly how we set them up, all named correctly. Just saves time, you know, doing it individually and having to rename everything. So that one's done. We're going to proceed with, do the same step again, File, Export, Export for Screens. This time we're going to do PNGs. So click on PNG, go to Advanced Settings, and just make sure that in PNG that you have background color is transparent. You can have white or black, but we want transparent in this case. This will allow when they add their logo to parts on the web, they'll have a transparent background, and it just helps out a lot, especially when a lot of web-based projects. So we're going to select everything now. So the black ones, the white ones, everything we've got. You've got the option to scale it, so you can double the size if you wanted to. Go by width and change the sizing based off these specifications. We're not going to worry about that. We're just keeping at the original size, so that's fine. We're going to go to the destination because we want to save it in a different spot now. So we're going to go back to our main folder. We've got our PDF ones there, but we're going to make a new folder called PNG. Create that. So we've got it in the right spot. Our format's correct. Our prefix is named exactly what we want it to be. And we're going to export. And now, in our PNG folder, we've got PNGs that have transparent backgrounds. except for the Facebook or the social media example, because we actually did put a black layer behind it, so that won't be transparent. So we're nearly there. I'm going to do another one, file, export for screens. We're going to do JPEG, so go to JPEG 100. We're going to get rid of the white ones because we don't need them. Purely, you can supply them with a black background, but most of the time, the client, depending on the client, if they have their own design team, just supplying them with the EPS or the PDF files allow them to add the white versions. It's just limits the chance of something going wrong, because you might have clients putting a white logo with a black background where it shouldn't be, and I've seen it a lot of times, so I don't really like to supply those type of versions unless I know the client has a marketing team or their own internal designers that know what they're doing. I just keep it real basic and foolproof. So no white ones. The white ones will flatten and just be basically just a blank white file, so we don't need them. We're just going to click on the black ones like so. Click on the folder, make another one called JPEG. Suffix we don't need, get rid of that. Just check your format, make sure everything's cool. Yep, all good. That's all fine. Then the prefix name is the same, and we are going to export. And there we go, we've got our JPEGs nicely done. Okay, so we're near there. We need to go back to the same thing, file, export, save, export for screens. Now we're going to select all of them, make sure everyone is selected. We're going to export some SVGs. These are more and more common now. This is basically the new standard. The good thing we can add these to websites and online, and just gives us more flexibility in terms of what we can do with sort of vector files and online. So same thing again, make a new folder, SVG. Make sure that's all correct. You can check the settings here as well. Looks all good. Export. There you go, we've got our SVG files here. Okay, so if we go back and we check our folder, so we've got AI, JPEG, PDF, PNG, SVG, and the only thing we're missing now is EPS. So I'll just create an EPS file here. Now it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to go to File, we're going to go to Save As. We're going to make sure we save it in the right spot, so EPS. This is going to be our prefix. Instead of AI, we're going to call it. We're going to save it as an EPS. We're going to use artboards, and we're going to save. Customize the settings to you want, but this should be fine. We're going to go to OK, and now it's going to create all those artboards into separate EPS files. And also it's going to create one EPS file with all the artboards on it as well. So it should be done. I'm going to go back. As you can see, EPS files. Takes a while to load them up, but you can see them there. and you can see the file, the EPS file with all of them on there at once. So that's pretty much it. We've done AI, JPEG, PDF, PNG, SVG, EPS. There's heaps of other file types you can provide, but they're the common ones that we normally do because they cover all the basics. But before we send it off to the client, we need to obviously pop in our style guide. So this is our style guide. Put that in there. We're going to put in our font files based off the style guide. Just make sure that obviously the fonts you're using, the type of license that you have allows you to do that. Make sure you follow the rules. We're going to add a Word document letterhead. So this is just a template. And we also provide a format guide. So just to give the client a little bit of an idea of what each file type does. If they ever get confused, then, or whoever's managing these assets has a guide to refer to, just to make life a little bit easier. And once we've done that, everything's all correct. We've supplied everything we needed. We can then compress. If it fits in an email, we'll send it through email, or we will put it in our Dropbox folder and supply the link to the client. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this helps give you an idea of how we set up our logos for our clients, and hope that helps you for whenever you're setting up your own logo files. So that's it for today. We'll see you in the next video.